Good morning, Michiana. A relatively warmer morning than the past couple of days with temperatures already in the 30s. They will cool off just a bit before sunrise before warming back up into the upper 30s and even warmer for your weekend. More coming up in just a few minutes. ABC 57 News at 5:30 starts right now.
Covering South Bend, Elkhart, and all of Michiana, this is ABC 57 News at 5:30.
This morning, the body of an Elkhart soldier is scheduled to come home. Plus, the funeral arrangements for Jesse Williams are planned. How you can help honor a fallen soldier. Plus, a tax credit for adoptive parents. Which state governor is asking this from lawmakers? Good morning, Michiana. Welcome to ABC 57 News. I'm Emily Pritchard. This morning, a fallen Michiana soldier's body is being taken back to his family. U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Jesse Williams of Elkhart died earlier this month in Afghanistan. This morning, his body is expected to arrive in South Bend. ABC 57's Eric Cox is live at the South Bend Regional Airport this morning with the latest. Eric.
Emily, good morning. ABC 57 actually got the chance to speak with Jesse Williams' mother, Debbie Bussard-Passarallo, over the phone yesterday. She tells us that here at the South Bend Regional Airport is where she expects her son's body to be returned this morning. She says her son's body should arrive here at the airport just a few hours from now at about 9. It will then be transported to Billings Funeral Home in Elkhart. They'll be handling the funeral arrangements. Williams died on December 17th when a Black Hawk transport helicopter he was on crashed. The cause of the accident is still unknown at this time. He was one of 6 American soldiers to die in that accident. Earlier this week, Governor Mike Pence ordered that all state flags in Elkhart County be put at half-staff in honor of Williams and to be left that way until his funeral. His mother tells ABC 57 that she wants his passing to help us all remember our country's soldiers still serving overseas.
We still have soldiers over there. You know, and I think people tend to forget there's still a war going on over there, and our men and women are over there. They are forgotten by us sometimes, and we can't forget about them.
His visitation is set for Thursday, January 2nd, from 4 to 8 p.m. at Granger Community Church. That's on University Drive in Mishawaka. And his funeral will take place the following day, on January 3rd, and that will also be held at Granger Community Church. Visitation for that begins at 11, with the service starting at 1 p.m. We've learned that soldiers from as far as Germany are expected to be in attendance at Williams' memorial service that day. And the interment will immediately follow after the funeral service on that day at Rice Cemetery. That's on James Street in Elkhart. Live at the South Bend Regional Airport, Eric Cox, ABC 57 News.
Thank you, Eric. Well, right now we are in the clear of any snow, but it is on its way. Luckily, we have a few days to enjoy it before it arrives. Let's check in with ABC 57 meteorologist Jackie Layer this morning, who joins us outside. And Jackie, how's it feeling out there?
It's not too bad outside as you're heading out the door. Temperatures are already in the 30s. I can just see my breath just a little bit. I'm not shivering, so that's always a good thing as well. But here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast. Those temperatures should drop just a little bit before sunrise. Temperatures dropping down into the upper 20s, but then we're going to be warming up back into the mid to even upper 30s. The high today will be 37 degrees, and those clouds will dissipate as we head out through the rest of the day. So by the afternoon, mostly sunny skies with those highs in the upper 30s, which means it's probably going to be a great day to even take down some of your Christmas decorations because we're in for a cool down as we head into next week. So I'll have more coming up with your full 10-day forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you, Emily.
Jackie, and the Berrien County Road Commission says keeping those roads safe for you throughout the winter is important. But this year, that safety is coming at a higher cost. The county's already used 47% more salt than last year, and crews expect to have to order more than originally planned. Now, the managing director told ABC 57 because winter came early this year, the county will now have to take funds out of the summer budget to buy that salt.
If we spend more money in our winter operations on salt, on diesel fuel, on overtime, on all those types of things, then we'll simply have less money that we can spend on fixing potholes and clearing brush and mowing during the summer.
Now, although summer projects are important, the Road Commission says keeping those roads clear in the winter is the most important thing right now. And ABC 57 spent some time yesterday at Eagle Lake. We found several people ice fishing there. We learned some important tips, ones you'll want to consider to stay safe on the ice. Always make sure that's at least 4 inches thick, and make sure to take ice picks along with you. That way you can use them in case you fall through.
Well, it's always good to stop by your bait stores and talk to them. They'll let you know where the safe places are, usually to get on from what they hear from other fishermen. Just make sure you have your fishing licenses and fresh bait.
And it's also important to note that no ice is really safe ice. Experts say ice should be 4 inches thick for a person, 6 inches for a snowmobile, and 12 to 15 inches for a car or truck. Well, police in Elkhart tell ABC 57 News they're closer to finding the person who shot and killed 18-year-old Devontae Patrick. He was gunned down at a church parking lot on Monday. Family and friends came together to remember that teen during a Christmas Eve service Tuesday. Now, police say they've been getting a lot of strong leads from the community and hope to make an arrest soon. This morning, 25-year-old Robert Easton is in police custody. They say he robbed a house in Mishawaka just before midnight on Christmas. Now, ABC 57 first told you about that robbery, originally reported as a home invasion on ABC 57 Morning News yesterday. Now, right now, police are still looking for at least one more suspect. And we talked with the owner of that home who says Easton choked him, then stole thousands of dollars in cash from his roommate.
There was about a minute where I legitimately thought I was going to die, and it was just like, no, it can't just end like this. There's no way. Gosh, this sucks.
Now, as we mentioned to you yesterday morning, police used a K-9 unit to catch Easton and bring him into custody. New this morning, Indiana Governor Mike Pence wants state lawmakers to create a tax credit that would help parents offset adoption expenses. According to the Associated Press, his proposal calls for those taxpayers to claim an additional credit on their state tax return. Now, Pence said before that he wants Indiana to become the nation's most pro-adoption state. And new this morning, a press conference will be held with Irish head coach Brian Kelly and Rutgers head coach today at Yankees Stadium. This is the last press conference with those coaches before the bowl game tomorrow. The New Era Pinstripe Bowl works with several organizations and is donating over 1,000 tickets to tomorrow's game to various New York City nonprofits. Now, the bowl game will start around noon tomorrow and will air on ESPN. And this afternoon, Irish head coach Mike Bray and several players will speak to the media. This is the first time we'll be able to speak to those players since senior Jerian Grant was dismissed from the team. Now, Grant was dismissed from the university for an academic issue. He's the second player from the university in 1 year to be dismissed for that same problem. Well, the Frozen Fenway game between the Irish and Boston College is just over 1 week away. The two teams will hit the ice on January 4th in Boston. The puck drops at 7:30 at Fenway Park. Now, there are still tickets available if you want to catch that game in Boston. And new this morning, Michigan will start its freshman quarterback Shane Morris in place of Devin Gardner in the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl tomorrow. Head coach Brady Hoke made that announcement yesterday, and ESPN reports that Gardner is out with what the school says is likely a slight fracture. Now, Morris has appeared in only 4 games this season, completing 5 of 9 passes for 65 yards. And new this morning, Chicago Bears quarterback Josh McCown is unsure if he'll play football past the season. That's according to Yahoo Sports. McCown's NFL career took off when he filled in for injured Jay Cutler this season. He played so well, in fact, that some thought he should actually replace Cutler. But the 34-year-old says being away from his family is hard since they live in North Carolina, and he told the Chicago Sun-Times that the NFL is, quote, a year-to-year thing of how long is this going to be. Well, other big news out of the NFL, the Green Bay Packers announced it will start Aaron Rodgers Sunday against the Bears. This big rivalry game has more than just a win on the line. The winner of the game wins the NFC North and heads to the playoffs. The loser, well, they'll be done for this season. And new this morning, if you receive federal unemployment benefits, listen up to this one. They are set to expire tomorrow for more than 1 million jobless Americans. A program signed into law in 2008 expires then, meaning the checks will stop. Now, over the next 3 months, an additional 850,000 workers will lose state unemployment benefits. The latest budget deal didn't include an extra lifeline on those federal unemployment benefits. And this morning, hopefully your gas tank is filled. Otherwise, you can expect to pay 20 cents higher than you would have yesterday. Gas prices jumped from $3.29 a gallon to $3.49 around South Bend yesterday afternoon. And when the ABC 57 crew came in this morning, there were a few stations here and there that still had a price at $3.29. The national average is sitting at $3.27 a gallon. And the Salvation Army of Central Indiana is extending its Christmas campaign. It's hoping the larger donation period will help make up for a shortfall of funds. Right now, it's behind $95,000, and officials say multiple things factor into that. The St. Joseph County Salvation Army also saw a shortfall this year, but ABC 57 hasn't heard if it will extend its campaign. Also new this morning, Michigan Governor Rick Snyder recently signed 4 bills establishing the Michigan Capitol building as a historic site. Now, that's of course located in Lansing, Michigan, and Snyder says making the building a historic site will create a commission to ensure its maintenance and upkeep. Now, it's one of fewer than 2,500 national historic landmarks. And developing this morning, if you like using incandescent light bulbs, well, you actually want to stock up on those before January 1st. The bulbs are slowly being phased out. A new survey, according to USA Today, finds most consumers are surprised by that. Both the 60 and 40 watt bulbs will disappear from shelves next year. Last year, the 175 watt bulbs disappeared. Well, a new budget deal is now signed into law. We have the latest on this developing story, including when President Obama signed it. Plus,
when the system is working and working effectively, it becomes a good layer of security.
5:41. What airport is now questioning its security system after a major breach?
Now it's a mild morning all across Michiana with temperatures in the mid-30s, and we're going to be seeing a weekend warm-up as well. More right after the break.